Hello, I'm Juanita Papineau from the University of Florida Extension Service, and this video is about summer pruning peaches in Florida. Florida peaches are harvested in May, and that leaves a long time for the trees to grow vegetatively for the rest of the year. This can make the trees very vigorous and decrease fruit quality for the next year. We summer prune after harvest to try to rebalance growth. This tree needs a summer cut. There are 5 steps to summer pruning, and I will show you how to do each. First, cutting back. Second, removing the root suckers. Third, cutting out strong uprights. Fourth, removing excessive branches. And fifth, thinning the branches and reducing any long laterals. We're going to start by cutting back the top of the tree to 6 to 8 feet high. You don't want your tree taller than that because you will not be able to pick the fruit easily. Commercially, this is done with cutter bars, but you can do this manually. Remove any root suckers. These are shoots coming from below the graft union. They will not produce good fruit and just take energy from your tree. All right, the next step is to remove any strong, upright, what we call water sprouts. These are really strong, upright branches that are not going to lay down the way we want. They're not going to have flowers and fruit like we want, and they're going to shade out the interior of the trunk. So you've got to kind of pull in here and look at what branches are growing straight up here that need to be removed. This one, really strong branch and going straight up through the middle where it's going to shade out everything below. So I'm going to cut that one off, and often there's more than one that will need to be cut out. Okay, I've pretty well cleaned out the interior of the tree with the strong uprights, and I'm going to cut out some of the dead wood. But I also want to leave a few very weak shoots that will help to shade the wood in here. You don't want to clear it out so much that there's no shade to the main scaffold branches because they can be sunburned by the heat that we have here in Florida. So you want to leave a few short shoots or cut some shoots in half that might provide a little bit of shade there for our interior. There are 2 types of cuts that we will be using on the rest of the tree: thinning cuts and heading cuts. Thinning cuts redirect growth to a lateral branch, and heading cuts encourage branching below the cut. A heading cut like this will induce branches below the cut. A thinning cut, where you cut back to a lateral branch, is used to help direct growth in the direction of the lateral you cut back to. Head back branches with blind nodes. Blind nodes are buds that do not break and have no leaves. This may be caused by not enough chilling, but you want to remove them because they are not going to provide anything for you. Another type of branch to remove are those that are hanging down. These branches are hanging down where any fruit on them will be hanging on the ground and much more susceptible to fungus splashing up from the soil. This also interferes with maintaining the area under the tree, so we're going to remove them. Make sure you prune out any dead wood that you see, back to where there's some growing wood. Some people are concerned that if there's any pathogen in here, it could get onto your cutting blades. So it is really a best practice to sterilize your cutting blade between trees at least, so that you're not spreading any kind of potential diseases from one tree to the next. This top branch is shading the lower branch. One should be removed so that it doesn't shade out the other. You can have the choice of which is the best placed for your design. Pruning is an art and a science. Do not be so worried about what you are cutting out that you don't cut enough. However, you also need to know when to stop pruning. There is no absolutely correct way to prune, and you are the one in charge of directing your peach tree to grow the way you want.